Hello, this is Lawrence Romanosky, and here is a short video on my 1952 Bentley R-Type R-Type Continental. I wish it was a Continental. It's an R-Type standard steel saloon, and I'm here with my beautiful wife, Smile Honey, and children in the back in the car seats, Elliot and Oscar. And we are traveling from Calgary to Banff in the Bentley. And I thought I'd do a video demonstrating, that it runs and that it has oil pressure and it doesn't overheat, and that it is a reliable car that you can drive anywhere. Okay, so we're just in line at Starbucks waiting, so it is not a bad time to show you what the car behaves like when it is idling. Okay, so here are some of the gauges, and we can see that we're probably only idling at maybe 500 RPM or something like that. So we've got a negative ammeter, but that quickly changes to positive once we've got some revs. For the oil, when the car is at operating temperature and it's 20 W50 oil in it, we'll have about 10 psi, and then on the highway or anything over a couple thousand RPM, it'll jump to 20 psi, and when cold, when we first start it, it goes to maybe 25 or something. So these cars don't have high oil pressure, but certainly 10 psi for every 1,000 RPM, which is a good guideline. The water temperature, we just at great expense and difficulty replaced the radiator for $5,000, and now the car behaves properly. Before, I think it'd just get clogged over time, and on the highway it would slowly get hot. Not overheat, just get a little bit hot. Now the thermostat's set to open at 78 degrees, and so now it'll just sit there. It'll get to 78. The thermostat opens, and then it just stays there. And we have a full tank of fuel, and the fuel gauge works. And I think if we hit this button, well, maybe when it's stopped. Anyway, then we get the oil level. Okay, so this is your ignition, your starter button, ignition, and then the light switch, and then the mileage on the car, 40,298, and that's 140,298. We have an electric clock, which works. We have the keys, which we have keys for this, for the glove box, and down below there, that is where the owner's manual and tools are. The radio doesn't work, never really tried, and we have the wiper switch up there, which works. You can see the wipers work, and there's self-parking. This switch is for the elimination of the instruments. This button here tells you the oil level, I guess when the car is off. This button here, geez, I forget what that does. Can't remember. This is the demister, the heater, the heated rear screen. This is the center light in the front, which works. And this thing is hilarious. It's a vacuum operated windshield squirter, and so you hit this a couple times, let it wait for a few seconds, it builds vacuum, and then here we go, and it just sort of pees fluid on the front windscreen with no noise from the electric motor. I guess you have to keep it pressed, and then it builds the vacuum, not just push it once. Anyway, now we have showers in here. So anyway, that's how those work. Isn't that funny? Wipers are kind of useless. So I'll show you that the sunroof works. and the wood surround's in nice shape. And then there's additional ventilation too that is on these in the driver and passenger footwells, controlled by that knob there. So it's actually quite a nice. The car doesn't have air conditioning. I don't know of any R-Type that does, but it's actually quite a comfortable place to be. Okay, so 20 minutes later at Starbucks, temperature needle gets to about 78 degrees, and now we're on the road. We're going from Calgary to Banff and back, and that's about a 200-mile round trip. I've had this car for 2 years. I've put about 1,000 miles on it. I've driven it just about every month of the year, because there's usually been a couple nice days even in the winter. It's never not started, never broke down, never needed a tow truck, never had, as they call it in the Bentley world, a fail to proceed. It's possibly the most reliable car I have. Yeah, I can always count on it. And, you know, I wouldn't be putting my family in it and going for a 200-mile trip into the mountains if I had any doubts that the car would make it. So, if you buy a Bentley of this vintage that comes out of long-term storage, generally you're not going to get very far, because all of the systems in the car, and there are a lot of them, and they're quite complex, will all need to be gone through. And this is a laborious, time-consuming, and expensive process. While these cars can be worked on by any thoughtful and patient mechanic with the appropriate tools, they don't really suffer bodges well, and they don't suffer deferred maintenance very well. So with a Bentley of this vintage, if you buy an awful one, they're almost free, but you'll be very sorry. And this particular car, it was a good car when I got it, but that didn't mean that I didn't spend $20,000 in the last 2 years just going through the various systems on the car and refreshing everything. And that's in the last 1,000 miles. In the last 2,000 miles, it's had about $50,000 spent on it. That's going back to the 80s. But that's just what these cars are like. Once you get through them all and get through all the systems, they're very reliable cars, and they can be comfortably driven on long distances, safely and reliable, and they keep up with modern traffic. But if you get one that hasn't had anything done for a while, you need to be prepared for some big bills that will often exceed the value of the car. So here's an update. We're in this mammoth traffic jam. I think there's some road construction. But anyway, if you had a lot of 50s cars, you'd be sweating right now, because you'd be inching along and you'd be watching your temperature gauge, and your clutch wouldn't be behaving, and you'd be worried about wearing out your clutch, and you'd be desperately trying to get around the traffic, and it would be no fun at all. I was on the Pebble Beach tour several years ago. I was lucky enough to participate in that, and in a friend's going, and so we're inching along like this in Monterey, up hills, with parades of people all around, going 5 miles an hour with all these priceless pre-war cars. And let me tell you, the expressions on the owners' faces with their priceless 8C Alpha engine starting to creep into the red nobody was very happy driving these cars, and even the 50s cars like the Gullwing and stuff, they're just not very happy going the speed. But a Bentley does not mind at all. It'll do this for 500 kilometers if you wanted to. You know, I think that's what makes it such a great classic, is because you know, you can put your kids in it and go to Starbucks and wait there for 20 minutes and then get caught in a traffic jam, and you know, if you need to stop and pick up a case of wine or something on your trip, or whatever, you know, you can do it, and you don't have to worry, and the car will cruise happily at 60 miles an hour, and keep up with all the traffic, and you just don't have to worry about it. So you know, also it's comfortable and it's warm and it's dry, and the heater works and the wipers work, and it has a demister, and you know, it's got an electric rear heater, and it's got all kinds of the comfort and convenience things that you know, you might you know, you take for granted in a modern car, but certainly not in something that's 65 years old. We are mercifully clear of this. It was 45 minutes we were stuck in that. So now we're picking up speed, and we can again look at the instruments and the oil pressure and so on. So I'm in third gear. You know, it happily goes to 60 miles an hour in third, but we hit fourth, and you know, so oil pressure sits in the low 20s. We have positive readings on the ammeter. The temperature comes down a little bit, and you know, we've got a smooth, steady ride, 65 miles an hour, 70 miles an hour, and you know, the car will sit here all day long too, and you know, like I said, I keep saying, there aren't too many cars from 1952 that will cruise at 70 miles an hour all day long, that you don't have to worry about, and while seating everybody in comfort as well. So we're now just I need to show the mountains. So we're just heading on to Banff, and if you've never been out here in Alberta in the fall, it's really quite gorgeous, and we're just gonna have a nice day, and driving our Bentley around the Rocky Mountains, and there we go. But anyway, I hope this series of videos wasn't too boring, but I think for the owner of the car, it's exactly what you want to see, is, you know, a car that works and behaves itself. So again, sorry for the length, but hopefully this gives you some insight what it's like to own and operate a Bentley R-Type. All right, thank you very much, Lawrence Romanosky.